Alexa, turn on elephant light. Hi everybody, welcome back here to Educate. My name's Katie if you don't know and you're new. Welcome to my channel. I also wanted to let you guys know I've been posting every Thursday for a while, so that is still going to be one of my upload days, and then my other upload day will be on Sundays. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you my 6 tips to prepare for being around kids or classroom setting for the first time. If you have any questions, always let me know down below in the comments. If you have any video requests, down below in the comments. Let's go ahead and get into this video. My number 1 tip for working with students, whether you've done it for a while or it's your very first time, is to treat the children with dignity and respect. Those children that you're working with, whether they're first grade, whether they're middle school, 5th, 4th, anything, those kids are humans too. They're just like you. They have feelings, they have hard days, they have bad days, they have great days. So if you treat them with dignity and respect, and you respect them as human beings, and you don't look at them as lesser than you because they're younger than you, that's going to really show in your communication to the children and how well you can work with them. My second tip goes along with the first one, and it is no baby talk. For this one, I'm going to share some examples of how it might look if you're talking to a child. So as I'm talking to you right now, this is my voice and the words I choose and my tone if I'm talking to my peers, and you probably have that kind of voice too. Then there is a level of talk that you would talk to your children. But there are 2 different ways that you could talk to a child. Baby talk and a respectful and dignified way, but still down to a child level. So I'm gonna share an example so you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Hi, Johnny, how are you doing? Did you have a great time at recess? I'm so excited. Well, today we're gonna read a book, okay? And you're gonna go pick it, and then we'll bring it back here, and then we'll read it together, okay? So that was a little cringy. I hope you agree with me that that was cringy, because this is kind of how you wanna do it. Hi, Johnny. Oh, did you just get back from recess? Oh, that's so cool. So you're gonna pick out a book for us to read. I'm gonna read it to you, and then we're gonna go take it to our desk. Does that sound okay to you? Okay, so you can see how I still was down to a child's kind of level, but it wasn't baby talk. So you just really want to avoid that, because kids can pick up on that. Kids can pick up if you're speaking to them in baby talk, or if you're treating them, again, with dignity and respect, and you're just talking to them like you might talk to a peer. I still want to make this clear that there is a difference between how I'm talking to you right now and how I would talk to a kid, but you just don't want to move down the level to baby talk. My third tip is to have conversation starters. So if you are tutoring a kid one-on-one, or you have a few kids you're working with, or whatever the situation may be where you might interact with a kid and you might talk to a kid, you want conversation starters under your belt, because odds are you're some brand new stranger to them and they don't know who you are, so you're probably going to be the one talking a lot. So I see this a lot when people start working with kids, and it's kind of like awkward and they don't really know what to say. So you want to have these things kind of thought out before you go into it. So some of my favorite conversation starters are, what did you do at school today? What did you do at recess? Do you have a favorite color? What's your favorite thing to do at home? Do you have a favorite subject in school? Did you watch any good movies recently? Do you play any sports? Do you watch any sports? Stuff like that. You kind of get the idea. You just want ways to be able to start a conversation with a kid so they know you are interested in them, so that they know that you care, that you want to know about them. So my next tip is to really keep in mind the strategy I do, we do, you do. So what this will look like is, if you're teaching a kid to read a sentence in a book, this is what it'll look like. You'll read it first, the I do, then look, and then we'll say, okay, let's read it together. And so you'll read it at the same time, and then you'll have the student do it all by themselves in the last part, the you do. This is a really awesome scaffolding method, so that if a kid is kind of hesitant to do something, or they're expressing that they don't really know how, or it's too hard, or if it's a brand new concept, you want to really ease the kid into it. Or kids, you don't want to just throw them at it and go, do this math problem, or read the sentence. You want to model it first, kind of do it together, work together, and then have them try it on their own. So this next tip has a few components to it, but it is my redirecting strategies. So if you have some really energetic kids or even kids that just get a little off task, I'm going to share with you my top redirecting strategies. So my first redirecting strategy is having brain breaks. This can be really anything. I know my little first grade boy that I work with right now, he loves going outside. So when we have a brain break and I write it on our little agenda, I put a little red star, and when he sees a red star, he knows it's time for a break. So we go outside and we pick a point and he runs to the point, runs back. I have seen a night and day difference with this when I've implemented this with my student I work with. He is so much more focused when he comes back in, and he's kind of gotten his jitters out and he's so ready to go. A brain break could also look like just doing some jumping jacks if you don't have access to going outside, or maybe some stretches to stretch above your head, stretch down to your toes, little things like that. And you can adapt it to how your kid or kids kind of are. So the next redirecting strategy is if you have a kid that's a little bit of a chatterbox, because this is a super easy way to kind of, if a kid's on this long tangent, a long story of they're telling you something, to get them kind of redirected, but still respect that story that they are telling. So often when I do, hey, that's a really awesome story you're telling me, I'm so excited to hear it, but we really need to do this right now. When we're done with this and we're maybe walking back to class or at the very end of our session, how about you tell me that story? Does that sound okay? Tabling the story for later gets a few things accomplished. The first is that you can get back to your work or whatever you need to be doing with the student. The second thing is they still feel like you want to hear the story. So my last redirecting strategy, if you have more of a low energy kid, and maybe they're saying something like, this is too hard, or I don't really know how to do this. This is what I tell all kids, and this is really like a growth mindset type of response, but it really, really helps. It's okay if things are hard, because you know, when things are really hard, it makes our brain grow bigger. If things are too easy for us, then our brains are never going to grow, and we're never going to get ready for 3rd grade, or never going to get ready for 4th grade. So this is a really easy technique to implement, because it's super easy. It's just what you're verbally saying to the kid, and it really usually perks kids up. So my 6th tip is, if you're just observing, if you're working on maybe practicum hours, that's your first exposure to kids, and you're just sitting in a classroom observing, write everything down. Like literally everything. When I did my observations, I wrote down everything, to what the teacher was wearing, to how the kids came into the classroom, to signs that they had hanging in the classroom, to different strategies teachers used. I was just like furiously writing down the whole time, because when you are going to be a teacher, you can really use those notes. So that is everything I have for you today. If you enjoyed this video and learned something from it, definitely give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Thanks for being here. Bye.